Good
One
evening.
second. It's
Okay.
recording to the cloud.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you could start.
I could start. Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GCM's last webinar of the year. Yes, it's already a year. So, taking into account the exceptional circumstances that we have been through this year, I think that more than ever, we need to make sure that next year will be a fantastic year that will counterbalance all the negativity and trauma for some of us of 2020. So this session is meant to be fun, okay? And I'll ask you to contribute if you wish. So hopefully you won't get bored and you won't fall asleep. You know, I'm a teacher still, so in my head, I want to make sure nobody's falling asleep in my classes, but this is not a class. There will be a few interactive activities, so you will have some opportunities to express yourself. Before we start, for those who don't know me, my name is Thierry Gauthier, and I'm a personal performance and business coach. So I work mainly with clients who wish to work on their confidence, or they want to improve their career or change careers. Some of them want to start a business, and some have issues with their work-life balance as well. So we work together on finding a more reasonable approach to their life, let's say. In terms of the topics of goal setting, motivation, achieving dreams, all these topics, I find them quite fascinating. And I think I'm not going to do my psychoanalysis, but I think it goes back to when I was a child, basically. When I was 7 years old, my parents divorced, which happens quite a lot, even in France. And I transferred, we moved into a different town, and I went from a small school where we were only 8 pupils. This used to happen in France in those days, to a much bigger school. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but I was in a class, with 30 plus pupils, when in my class, there was only 2 people my age before. So I started becoming shy, and that's one of the things. Every time my mum used to go to the parents' evening, she could hear, and I could hear it as well. Oh, it's such a shame. He's such a shy boy. And at the time, when you're 7, it doesn't mean anything. But my mum would tell me, oh, you have to be more, more confident. She wouldn't use this word, but that's pretty much what she meant. And so I would spend a lot of time daydreaming, and people would tell my mum, for example, oh, I saw Thierry the other day on the street. He was, you could tell he was in his own world, basically. And at 15, when I was 15, I decided that I would love to be a teacher, but actually I didn't have the confidence even to say it to my teachers when they asked me what I wanted to do, and I had to choose, which career path, or at least studies, I wanted to do. So I said I would like to be a cake maker because I enjoyed making cake anyways. And a couple of my teachers actually said, you could do academic studies. And I thought, oh, in a way, to be supported at that time was very important, because it really dramatically changed my my future, definitely. So the fact that these 2 teachers had belief in me when I didn't, when I did not even, consider realistically being a teacher, was something quite touching, I would say. And so basically, I ended up doing academic studies, and I kept on dreaming, and I became a teacher. So I became a teacher actually because I admired some of my teachers, and I thought, oh, that looks like a great thing to do. And I enjoyed teaching. I still do, but I rarely do. And 20 years ago, actually, this is the biggest dramatic change in my life, I'd say. And this is why actually I've decided to do this workshop tonight. 20 years ago, I was teaching some A-level students, and I was helping a girl, and she found this article from a very serious newspaper in France, and it explained that kids were, well, this is not surprising, but if you come from a wealthy background, you stand a much higher chance to succeed in your studies, and you will achieve much higher diplomas and degrees, basically. And I thought, okay, so fair enough. Then it said that people from the lower backgrounds, and I come from a lower working class background, were very lucky if they achieved A levels. Okay, I thought, well, I've got A levels. And then it went on to say that if you were from a background where your parents are divorced, from a lower working class background, you were among the happy few to have a degree, either a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. And then they said statistics don't take into account people from lower working class background whose parents are divorced and achieved a master's degree. And I thought, hang on, I have 2 master's degrees. I come from the social background they're describing. So I can't be doing that bad. And all this time I've been dreaming, maybe actually that was useful because it has shaped my future and my current life. So this was a real aha moment, let's say. And I continued, it gave me the confidence to think, maybe I can buy a house, a nice car, and so on and so forth. Then I met Kula a long time ago, but about 14 years ago, she was raving on about coaching. And my idea of life coaching was, I had some negative ideas, let's say, because of all the negative publicity, which was justified at the time. And so anyway, I listened to her and I did this training to become a subject learning coach, which was life coaching for teachers and pupils. So there was already at the time a program in 2006, 2008 to improve teachers' lives and pupils' lives through life coaching. And to cut a long story short, this is how we are here today, because coaching has dramatically improved my life, I think. And it's made me realize what we need to do to achieve our goals and how we can actually shape our future. So this is enough about me, and let's move on to what we're going to do tonight. So we've got 2 main points. I think it would be interesting for you to touch into these 4 points, because you will stand a much better chance to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. So the first one is to make sure you successfully set goals. I'll teach. You see how I speak? Talking of teaching, I'll explain to you how and what we can do, how we can do that, and what we need to do to make sure that our goals are achievable. The second point is about developing self-efficacy. And this is a bit of a big word, but I'll explain why and how, again, we can develop self-efficacy, because it's been proved to really improve people's life and achievement in life. Then we're going to have a bit of a relaxation time, and we're going to use visualization. There's so much science behind visualization that I thought we can't let, we cannot talk about achieving goals in life without talking about visualization and experiencing it, because I'll be doing a little exercise with you. And hopefully you will feel refreshed and motivated to pursue your goals in 2021. So let's start with successfully setting goals. I've got a poll for you. I thought it would be interesting to see how we're doing, all of us. So I'm going to ask you to vote. Honestly, tell me, do you set goals in your life? So do you always set goals most of the time? Do you rarely set goals? Or do you never set goals? So I'm going to give everyone a chance to participate. So let's wait a couple of minutes. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Everyone's voted. So let's have a look. And I'm going to share the results with you. So we have a nice variety. Actually, half of the people here tonight are setting goals most of the time. So that's a good sign. Hopefully these goals are achievable. That's an even better sign. Some of you never set goals. Well, that's fine as well, because this is why you're here tonight. So hopefully you'll learn something and you'll take something away, and you'll be able to work on that. Okay, and some people also rarely. So it's pretty much 50-50 if we look at it. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and let's go back. So that gives us an idea, it gives me at least an idea of goal setting for you. And I'm going to ask you this time to think, and you can take part in the chat. You can unmute yourselves. That's fine if you want to talk. Why do people set goals? It seems such a naive question, but have we really thought about that? Why do people set goals? What are the reasons behind it? So if you would like to take part in the chat, that would be great. Okay, you have to close the poll. I've just realized it doesn't disappear.
I thought I've closed it, Thierry.
You can't close it. It's the red, there's a little red button on the, for my computer, it was on the top left. Did you find it?
No.
No, maybe it's top right because I'm on the Mac. So
Has it done it? No.
no. Kool-Aid stuck with the poll until the rest.
Okay, I
How
think
about
closed.
you? Yeah, brilliant.
Okay. Elaine says to keep oneself on the track, to have a plan in order to achieve the goal, to be accountable and ensure they achieve something, to have a purpose, to identify steps to reach end point, a qualification, for a sense of achievement when they are achieved. Very good.
Brilliant. Well, I think that most of you have encapsulated everything I was going to say.
Okay, that is really good. People set goals as a way of orienting where they are or where a project is to where they wish it to be to ensure progress, creating a feedback loop. Yeah, that is it.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you, Damien. Sorry, I didn't realize you had written. Yeah, that's a nice explanation. Try to measure progress, creating a feedback loop, a positive feedback loop, hopefully. So some of the most common things, reasons to set goals. First of all, it does give us a long-term laser-focused vision. And also it provides short-term motivation, because if we set our goals properly, we should find that we achieve a lot of things. And the more you achieve, the more you stay motivated. The more you stay motivated, the more you achieve. So it's a virtuous circle, really. And also it helps you organize your time and your resources. So that's quite good, because if you know exactly what you want to do in life, you might dedicate more time doing something, or more resources, especially money, for example, or time. Yeah, time, I've said it already. It helps you move your life forward when you feel you're stuck. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck in life. We're not making any progress. But if we set some goals, then we will see achievement, and we'll see that we're moving forward. And it gives you an opportunity to take control of your life. And someone said as well, to become accountable and get better results. And finally, it allows you to be the best you can be and live your best life. So this world, in this society, we tend to compare ourselves to others, but actually, if if we compare ourselves only to ourselves, then we can decide to live the best life we can lead. So we really tap into our potential and make sure we turn this potential into a reality. So that's good. And what I would like to um, suggest tonight is a process to set successful, meaningful goals. So that's the idea. We want to be successful when we set goals, but also they have to be meaningful. Otherwise, we might not achieve them. So there is a process for that, or this is my view at least. The first thing to bear in mind is that most of us live hectic lives. We have very hectic lives, compared to people 100 years ago or less. We are very busy, and we have very few opportunities to stop and recharge our batteries. So this whirlpool is not really the best environment to set goals. We need to apply the brake at one point and stop, really, and gather our physical and mental energy, because most of the time we're living on our last resources, and we're pushing ourselves to do more and more, and we're just drained. And especially at the moment, the weather is getting colder, so we need more energy just to get about, get around. So if we want to set good goals, we really need to make sure that we are in a right position to do so. The second important thing is to make sure we reconnect with our core values. Now, if you want to know what your core values are, you have to ask yourself, and you can do it now, what is really important for you? So what really matters in life for you? And you might want to think of a bit. This is an activity we do in coaching. Think of writing your eulogy. Once you're not on this planet anymore, in this world, what would you like people to remember of you? And what would you like people to say about you? And when I say people, think of specific people. What would you like your family to think about you, to say? What do you want them to say about you? Also, what do you want maybe your friends, your colleagues, people from clubs, activities you do? By thinking about these things, you will be connecting or reconnecting with your values, your core values. Once you've got your core values, what's really important for you, you will need to find your higher purpose or your mission in life. All of us, not most of us, all of us are meant to do something on this planet. We all have a different DNA. We all have, a unique character, but we all have a purpose. We are here to do something. Once you've identified your core values, your purpose, your higher purpose, you will need to identify some areas of your life that lack fulfillment. And we're going to work on that tonight. Okay, what is lacking fulfillment in your life? Now, we can't work on everything at the same time. Choose 2 or 3 maximum. As we say, if you set yourself 20 or 30 goals, you might not achieve any, or you might achieve 2 or 3, and you will feel really deflated by the fact that actually most of what you set, you failed. So we don't want to, train our mind to be in failure mode. We want to train our mind to be in success mode. So for this reason, prioritize the areas that you want to set goals for, and 2 or 3 would be enough to start with. Remember, you've got the rest of your life to achieve. It's a journey, so enjoy the journey. And finally, and this is the practical thing, and I'll explain that process. We will identify one SMART goal for each selected area. And if we focus on one, that means we will have 2 or 3 goals, and we stand a very good chance to achieve them. Now, you might not set goals in today's session, but remember that Christmas is around the corner. You're going to have time, and you can stop, recharge your batteries, and go through this process on your own at any time. So, do you know what a SMART goal is? If you know, you can actually unmute yourself, or you can write it in the chat. SMART is an acronym. If you know, maybe some of you know. I was a teacher, as I said before, and we learned to set SMART goals. So I had heard about it, but was I able to do it properly quite a few years ago? I'm not sure, actually. So, any idea what SMART is? No, I don't see. Oh,
Yes. Wow.
yes, Damien. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Exactly all of
And
these.
strategic.
It could be
Wow.
strategic,
Yes, it
actually.
could.
Definitely.
Yes.
Measurable. They're coming. There are, by the way, there are variations. Some people use different words for these. Yeah, most of the time, I would say it's
Wow.
specific, measurable, Michelle,
Yes.
achievable, realistic. Um,
Timely. The timely is
timely.
important.
Absolutely, the timely is actually a major thing, because we say a goal is a dream with a date. If you don't put a date to your dreams, they just stay dreams. They're up in the air, sorry, but they're not really. You are not committing to them. If you put a date to your dreams, they might become a goal. Achievable, yes, that's one of the things. Achievable. Right, so we'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm going to ask you, if you've got some pen and paper, this is the teacher and me, you're going to say, I'm going to ask you to take a few minutes to start writing your thoughts about how we can set goals that are aligned with our core values and higher purpose. So I'm going to give you some questions, and oops, there we go. A bit of music so it doesn't feel too blank. So the first thing I'd like you to think about is just, what is your dream? What is your dream? And what are you trying to achieve? What would a fulfilling life be like for you? What would a fulfilling life be like for you? And what does fulfillment look like for you? What does fulfillment sound like for you? What does it feel like deep inside? What does it feel like for you? What is your mission in life? What is your higher purpose? What is your higher purpose? Who are you meant to be? Who are you meant to be? And what's lacking? What is lacking? What are you craving for? Also, think about what makes you happy now. That's a good start, isn't it? What makes you happy now? Also, to achieve your goals, what do you need to learn? What do you need to unlearn? So I'm going to give you another minute to to continue, or at least start thinking about these. Okay, so you've got these questions and think about them in the next few days, maybe over the Christmas period. Okay, and let's move on. Okay, so you've got some material now. You've written, some content, and now we need to think about thinking ahead. How can we make sure that we will stick to our goals and achieve them? Okay, that's the other important question. So as we discussed a few minutes ago, we need to start setting, or continue if you're already doing it, SMART goals. So here I've got specific, measurable, achievable, attainable. That's pretty much the same thing. Relevant but risky. They have to be challenging, and timely, time-bound, time-based, all of the above. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some examples so you understand about specific. So we said specific means basically that your goals are focused and they're well defined. When you're defining a goal, you need to consider the who is involved. if I choose to quit my job tomorrow and go and I don't know, go and grow vegetables, my wife might not be okay with it because the income might not be there for a while or something. So we need to take into account who is involved. It's not just us. Also, what do you want to accomplish? Where is there a specific location where you're going to achieve this goal? And when? We talked already of the time frame. And why? Why should I set this goal? What is it about this goal that will make me happier, or any yes, happier, let's say. So to give you well, talking of happy, for example, a non-specific goal would be I want to be happy. Okay, I want to be happy. That's going to be hard to achieve because it's a bit blurry, let's say. But you could say, as a first goal, I want to smile once a day. I want to smile once a day. Already, that's, for some people, this is a massive achievement because maybe they have a lot of issues, problems, and they don't feel like smiling. Measurable, well, if we use concrete numbers to measure the outcomes of our goals, we can decide if we have achieved our goals more easily, basically. So, how will you know you've achieved it? That's the question. Is it because you will have X more friends, or I don't know, you will, as we said, you will have smiled once a day. So that's goal, for a week, for a month. That's an achievement. That's for measurable. Attainable, achievable. It has to be something you can reach. Okay. And this is when we need to check that we are being realistic. For example, when people come to see me, for example, and they say they want to be more confident, confidence is a big thing. It's very challenging to be confident 100% of the times, 24/7, because there'll always be that's life. Sometimes our confidence is rocked, but if we have good resilience, we will bounce back and we will continue to be confident. So maybe an achievable goal would be to feel confident during a job interview, or sometimes I've had clients, they want to be confident when they do a presentation, or if they just need to speak in public. So we need to make sure that the goal is achievable, but realistic. Relevant, but risky. So if it's not challenging enough, you probably won't pursue your goal, and you're going to get bored and you're going to decide, oh, that's not important. So make sure, it has something that if you achieve it, you will feel you are, a greater person. And the last one, time. Oh, to give you an example, sorry, of relevant. For example, even though I don't own a boat, I want to compete in a yachting competition. Well, that is going to be a bit of a challenge because I haven't got the right tools. Maybe the first goal would be to buy a small boat, to find the resources, financial resources to buy a small boat by a certain time, etc. So we have to be realistic with the relevance. And the last one is about the time. So as I said earlier on, if you put a date to your dream, you turn it into a goal. it has to be a realistic time frame. That's the other thing. So you see, I keep talking about being realistic but challenging. This is a fine balance between the two. And they have to be, your goals have to be tangible. So we say, especially in NLP, we say that if you can use your senses, to feel you've achieved your goal, if you can experience taste, touch, smell, sight, or hearing, what will you be seeing when you've achieved your goal? Then you stand a better chance. Okay, right. So it's going to be back to you, I think, in a little moment. So can you turn some of your dreams into goals? If you look at, I've got two pictures here. If you look at the first picture at the bottom, the two ladders, which one would you rather climb? Number one on the left or number two on the right? There is quite a big difference between the two ladders. As you can see, the person on the first ladder is at the top. The second is still trying to get to the first bar. So this is coming down to being realistic and setting smart goals. Okay. And the other thing, I love this analogy actually. It's about the trim tab. You see here, there's the wing, that not the wing, the tail of a plane, and there are three words. There's the trim tab, the rudder, the elevator, and then there are the two little wings on the side. So basically, this is an analogy, a metaphor to explain that if you want to make the plane move, it's the same actually for a big, one of these large boats or cruise liners. Think of the Titanic, actually. That was the Titanic or any cruise liners or any planes, they can't change direction within a few seconds. They can't, it's not like you can turn very easily because of the weight of the plane or the boat. So they need a little thing called a trim tab. If you look at the picture, it's a tiny little thing, but the trim tab will help the rudder move, and the rudder will help the propeller move if it's a boat, or the wings or whatever. So basically, it's a tiny little thing that has an impact on a much bigger thing, because thanks to this little thing, the trim tab, the whole cruise liner is moving, or the whole plane is moving. And it's the same when you set goals. You need to find that little step, that tiny, tiny little step that will make a massive difference to your life and towards achieving your goal. So make sure we achieve really achievable goals. I meant to say something else and I've forgotten what I wanted to say. Just, make sure you identify the first step. That's it. A tiny little journey goal will take you towards your main goal. So if you read what you wrote earlier, and now see if you can set some SMART goals, and maybe you can share them with us if you wish. So can you set a SMART goal? Let's see, I'm going to give you a bit of time. I should put the music back on. Maybe Kula can sing for us.
Not the voice here.
All right then. So remember your SMART goal, make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, attainable. Make sure it's relevant, realistic, risky, and time bound. Okay. Are we ready to move forward? And then if you understand the process, you can do it on your own. I'm looking at the other screen to see, is that okay? Can we move forward? Yeah, good, thank you. Right, so let's move on to the second part. So the first one was the biggest, really, the most important part, which is goal setting. Now let's improve our goal setting skills, let's say, by using something called self-efficacy. So, oops, a bit of quiz time for you. I've got 8 questions, and you're gonna have to decide. You're gonna have to choose a number. So 1 is strongly disagree. 2 is disagree. 3 is neither, neither agree nor disagree. 4 is agree. And 5 is strongly agree. So I've got 8 questions for you, or 8 statements, sorry, for you. And for each of these statements, you need to decide of a number between 1 to 5. So the first one, I will be able to achieve most of the goals that I have set for myself. I will be able to achieve most of the goals that I have set for myself. Choose a number. Second one, when facing difficult tasks, I'm certain that I will accomplish them. When setting difficult tasks, I'm certain that I will accomplish them. Third one, in general, I think that I can achieve outcomes that are important to me. In general, I think that I can achieve outcomes that are important to me. Number 4, I believe I can succeed at almost any endeavor to which I set myself. I believe I can succeed at almost any endeavor to which I set my mind. Sorry, not myself. I can't read properly. Number 5, I will be able to successfully overcome many challenges. I will be able to successfully overcome many challenges. Number 6, I am confident that I can perform effectively on many different tasks. I am confident that I can perform effectively on many different tasks. Number 7, compared to other people, I can do most tasks very well. Compared to other people, I can do most tasks very well. And number 8, even when things are tough, I can perform quite well. Even when things are tough, I can perform quite well. Have you decided of a number for each of them? I can see we're concentrating, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign of commitment. Right, let's have a look at the results. So if you score mostly 4 or 5, you have strong self-efficacy skills, basically. So there are 8 questions, 8 statements, sorry. So if you had 40 or anything above 32, you can consider that you have very good self-efficacy skills. If you score mostly 1 or 2, well, you need to work to develop strong efficacy skills. Okay, so if we added them, anything under 16, maybe you need to work on developing these skills. So self-efficacy, oops, where is, so what does it mean to have strong self-efficacy or low self-efficacy? Well, self-efficacy is the belief you have about yourself, about your chances to succeed, about your abilities. Okay? It's just self-belief. If you believe in yourself, you will stand a much higher chance of achieving what you want to achieve. So it's a matter of confidence. It's, you know, they're all interconnected, you know, self-belief, self-esteem. That's another one. If you have low self-esteem, you probably will have low self-efficacy because you won't believe that you are able to achieve what you really dream about. So we need to work on these, and it's possible. And this, the reality is much easier than we can fathom sometimes. So if you have strong self-efficacy, you tend to view challenging problems as simply another task to be mastered. Okay, and another problem, and let's get on with it. Let's get cracking on it. You will develop you develop a much deeper interest in the activities that you take part in. So we need to be a bit curious. Let's try, let's see how it goes. It might not go, it might go pear-shaped, fair enough, but it might go well. So if we don't try, we won't know. You tend to form a stronger sense of commitment to your activities and interests. So just commit. And that's why also, I didn't say that earlier on, that's why it's very important to write our goals. You can write a little note and make sure you write them, because writing is a form of contracting. It's a bit like signing a contract with yourself. I want to be like this. Um, Also, if you've got strong self-efficacy, you might actually recover more quickly when it comes to disappointments or setbacks. You know, we all go through disappointments, we all go through setbacks. But if you've got good self-efficacy skills, you will recover more quickly. If you have low self-efficacy, you might avoid challenging tasks. Oh no, that's too hard. I don't want to try this. This is far too hard. You may believe that difficult tasks or situations are beyond your control or your capabilities. And that's what I was just saying as well, actually. The fact that we we, we may we may make it too big sometimes, or we think that a task is much bigger than it is. And when we start working on it, we realize, oh, that wasn't too bad. So if we haven't started, we're not sure, and we will stay with the belief that it was too hard. So we need to challenge ourselves. And low self-efficacy people tend to focus on negative outcomes, personal failures more often. There's something called a negative bias. We all have it. It was a very useful part of our brain when we were prehistoric men and women. But nowadays we don't need it that much. Unfortunately, it's still hardwired into our brain, and it's the negative chatter of the mind that tells you, no, this is too hard. No, you can't do that. You're not good at that, are you? You know, you never succeeded at this. You're bad at maths. You know, all these negative things have a terrible impact actually on our performances. That's for another day, actually. We can't talk of everything. Otherwise, we'll be here in 3 hours, another 3 hours. So, last thing, if you have a tendency to lose confidence, if you have low self-efficacy, you will have a tendency to lose confidence quickly, and you're going to lose faith in your personal abilities. So it's very important to work on that. So let's make it very simple. What is self-efficacy? Well, it's the fact that we believe we can do it. Just believe you can do it. If you have already a strong belief in your ability, remind yourself that you can do it. If you're not sure about doing something, just give yourself a pep talk and say, yes, I can do it. There's a great example, which I love, about, you might know or remember, about Roger Bannister, who was the guy who ran was it the 100 meters race, I think. If someone in the chat can confirm, please do. He ran 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. And scientists said that 4-minute mile. Oh, it's a 4-minute mile. Okay, 4-minute mile. Ah, so what's the 10-second one? I've forgotten now. Something like that, Damien. But anyway, maybe I'm mistaking names now. The point is that nobody thought, even scientists, that you could run 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. And then this guy did it. And in the next few weeks, several athletes managed to break that 10-second record. Because if someone can do it, more people can do it, definitely. So think about that. You can do it. Give yourself a pep talk, and I'll show you a bit later how we can use visualization as well to achieve that. And the last thing I'm going to say about this self-efficacy is a quote by Henry Ford, the guy who invented the cars that where that carries his name. He said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you will, basically. If you think you can't, you won't. So whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I think this is a great quote, because he said it all, really. Right. So how can we stay motivated? How can we make sure we stay motivated? I'm going to maybe ask you to take part. Can you think of, we've talked already of a few things, and we can recap, or maybe you have new ideas. How do you make sure you stay motivated? You can take part in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves. Let's see. Yes, accountability to another. Talk to other people. That's a good one, because if you say to someone else that you're aiming to do something, by saying it to another person, there's it's your reputation maybe as well, or you want to make sure that you're going to achieve it. And use the inherent negativity bias of the mind to create a loss scenario. Yes, the catastrophe. What could the worst scenario? What's the worst case scenario? That's the thing. What's the worst that could happen? Think about that. What if it doesn't go as I planned it? Will it make a big difference? Will history remember?
Marian has long-term benefits of keeping to your goals, and people work harder not to lose the 10 pounds that gain. That is good. If you put a bet, you mean. Keep dreaming and visualizing. Have a schedule. Sleep well the night before to wake up feeling energetic. Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely brilliant. I think yes, I came up with pretty much the same things. Maybe I had stepping stones. Identify the stepping stones. To achieve your goal, what are the stepping stones? So what are the journey goals? In our jargon, we call them. What are the little goals that will take you to the big one? And also look back and savor your achievements. Really, be proud of what you've done. if this is your best resources, they are your best resources. Your achievement, your past achievements are your best resources. Remember a time when you did something similar and it went really well.
Michelle, sorry to interrupt, says reward yourself at key milestones. This
Yeah.
is so important. Um, to say, well done, I've done it. It was hard, but I arrived there.
Pat on the shoulder. Yes, thank you, Michelle. And well, that's pretty much the same actually as what Michelle said. Count your small victories. It's
Yes.
something we don't do enough of. And I think there's more.
And the last one is keep results goals quick enough to create and reward the loop. Yes, motivation does not initiate action. It comes from doing. Yes, exactly. It has to. You've got to take the first step to achieve any goals you set.
Brilliant, absolutely. And
Oh well,
also,
as the
oh
French
God,
say, the appetite comes from the eating.
Damien, well
Is
done.
that for you,
It does
Kitty?
indeed.
Okay.
Totally. As you start, you will find that your more, the more you achieve, once again, it's a virtuous circle. The more you achieve, the more you will want to achieve. And also, I was just going to add to that, accept setbacks. We all have times when it goes, it's not a straight upward line. It's up and down, up and down. But remember, when it goes down, it will go back up. Right. So moving on to, I'm running a bit late. I'm sorry.
Yes, Thierry.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick visualization, but I'm going to have to, I'm going to cut it a little. So visualization, there's a lot of evidence now that visualization works. It has been used in a lot of contexts among athletes and people going to in space, on the space shuttle. We use it in business, uh, for weight loss, for many, many things. Talking of weight loss, there's one thing I have to say actually before moving on. If your goal is to lose weight, how many of us like losing? Whatever game you play, how many of us do like losing? We don't like losing, do we? It's just it's one of these things. And the one thing that doesn't like losing is your brain. And I read a book written by a doctor last year, and he said your ideal weight is your highest weight, the heaviest you were. Your brain thinks it's actually your ideal weight, apparently. So we're not trying to lose weight, but maybe we're trying to be thinner, lighter, a few pounds lighter. Try to turn it into a positive, something that speaks to you. So visualization, how does it work? Basically, kids are wonderful visualizers. It's a bit like, remember when you were a child, we go back to our childhood when we were able, we had all sorts of fantasies going on in our head and we were planning. Um, we were imagining things. Well, this is the process. It's a process that should be fun. That's one of the things. It has to be fun. And it has to involve all the three major sensory systems. So your sight, what you hear, what you see, the touch, and how it feels. Okay. If you can think of something, also taste and smell, even better. So you have to make it a very rich experience when you visualize. Now, the first time you might not see much. It's actually because it's a bit like a muscle. We had this wonderful muscle when we were kids, but as we're adults, because maybe it's not seen as a good thing to do, it tends to be a bit depleted. So we're going to have to energize the visualization muscle. But the more you do it, if you do it twice a day, perfect, you will get somewhere. In terms of performance, apparently it improves performance for some of the athletes by 15% compared to those who did nothing. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to read something to you, and see if you can see things, hear things, taste things, feel, touch. And this is going to last a few minutes. So here we go. So I would like you to begin by taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. Breathe in, pause, and breathe out. Have another breath. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And scan your body and notice if you sense any stress in your body, any areas of stress. When you get stressed, you tend to hold those negative emotions in your body. So it's important to let them go. And if you sense any tightness in your body, breathe into that area and allow it to soften. So if you've got like a tight chest, you can breathe into your chest. If you've got tight shoulders, breathe into your shoulders. Send the breath into the shoulders. Now, imagine yourself walking on a beach. This could be a beach you have visited before, or some place you make up in your mind. Tune in to all of your senses and see, feel, and hear the calm sound of the sea. Notice all of the beautiful colors and the color of the sea. Look up and notice the blue color of the sky and how white the small clouds are. Now feel the warmth of the sun on your skin and the warm sand in your toes. Bring a smile to your face and drink in the feeling of peace. Listen for the gentle sound of the waves hitting the shoreline. You might want to taste the salt water on your tongue and enjoy the experience. Stay here as long as you like. Immerse yourself in the moment. Continue breathing deeply in and out. Keep tuning in to how you feel in this moment. Now, start tuning into the energy of the future, your energy of the future. Imagine what you could still become. Imagine your future potential. See yourself at the top of your success and notice how different things feel. Notice what has changed. As you walk along this quiet beach, focus on how you see yourself in your ideal future. What would you like to become? What can you contribute to the world? How would you love to feel every day? How would you love to be? And also, where do you see yourself living in the future? Imagine the possibilities. Imagine having no limits whatsoever. Imagine your ultimate potential as you peek into the future. The past, the present, and the future are all interconnected. So make this dream real. Just think big. As you see yourself in this future, notice what kinds of people are around you. How do you spend your time? What kind of house or dwelling do you live in? How do you feel when you get up in the morning? Notice how excited you are in this ideal world. Notice how inspired you feel. Immerse yourself in your dreams and what you still want to accomplish. Do you have a secret dream you have yet to unearth? In what ways could this dream still unfold? Keep picturing yourself reaching your ultimate self. Imagine your desired life as vividly and in as much detail as possible, and bask in the feeling of it. Take a moment to tune into those details in this ideal life as you breathe deeply in and deeply out. Let your breath guide you on this journey through time, and allow your inner vision to create a future where you see yourself in perfect health, especially in these days, doing work you love with energy, joy, and enthusiasm, and see yourself making a fantastic living. Immerse yourself in this new life. Watch yourself as you hop out of bed excited to start your day. Dress the way you would like to dress and spend the day doing those things you love to do. See yourself engrossed in work that feeds your soul, and tap into every ounce of your ultimate potential. Hear the conversation flowing and see yourself opening up to become the best you that you can possibly be. See yourself changing your life, thinking differently. Let go of the old patterns and old relationships that bring you down. Be kind, but honest. See yourself living with authenticity and compassion. You are this powerful. You can heal your life. Don't compare yourself to others. This is your dream, so make it unique. And as we reach the end of this visualization, ask your mind to guide you and help you take one small step towards this ideal life in the coming days. Take this time every day to feed your imagination. You are important. You've got this. This is really how change happens. It's easy and effortless. Everything starts in the mind. So now, before we go back to the present, the here and the now, take one more moment to think about your ultimate potential. how do you want this to unfold over the next 5 years? How do you see yourself maybe in 10 years or 20 years? And now, with one more deep breath, bring your awareness back to the present moment and welcome back. So, this was an accelerated visualization, let's say, but have you noticed the different parts there is in a visualization? So to maybe because we're running out of time, I'm going to say it. The first thing is to make sure you breathe in and out, just to make sure you're relaxed. You need to relax yourself, and breathing is one of the best ways to get there. The second is to start from something that really looks like paradise. So that's why today I chose a beach. It could be a walk in the forest, sitting by a lake, anything that really resonates with the things that you enjoy most in life. Okay. And then you go into the details and try to bring in as much detail as possible about the seeing, hearing, feeling, the taste, the smell. Everything matters. This is what creates a very rich visual experience. And then your brain has something to work towards, basically. Right. Okay. Whoops. So hopefully that hour and a bit, sorry, I'm running a bit behind. My apologies. There's too much to say, unfortunately, about goal setting and achieving. So hopefully you will have gained something from this, and you feel refreshed and motivated to set goals for 2021. And it is, if you think you can, it will change your life. Okay. So this is the what do we call it? The advertising now. So how do we work with Kula? Well, first of all, we start with a free 30-minute consultation. And we have a special offer, which is £99 for 2 hours of coaching. And this is online or face-to-face. Face-to-face at the moment is a bit complicated. And any additional coaching sessions are £60. And at the moment, we have a special offer for the new year, really, but can start now. 4 sessions for £220. So if you want, or if you know anyone, this is what we do, but we do more. We have put together an online course about daily affirmations. So it's got 5 modules with activities, with teaching. When I say teaching, I mean things to know, things that are good to know to change, to change your life-changing contents, really. The power of daily affirmations now is, it has been, it's quite documented scientifically, I mean. So there's written materials, videos, and inspirational images. And you still get the 30-minute coaching session, and it's only £29. So this is the price at the moment because it's still in beta mode. We're testing it. So if you're interested, just get in touch with us. And we have another package. God, normally we've only got one thing to do, Kula. You've given me too much to do. I should have given you. Do you want to talk about this one, Kula?
Okay, if you have yourselves or someone else, a loved one, would like to offer you a voucher, we do have a gift voucher that is available for £60. And again, you are getting 60 minutes coaching plus the 30 minutes free testing to find out where you're at before you start your first hour of coaching. We are both qualified coaches. We love what we are doing, and we have arrived there, as Thierry said, from our personal journey. It wasn't easy. We have faced various obstacles in our individual lives. We understand how we could go to cul-de-sacs, and if we could help, we are here to help. We've got the tools, and so we say, we are understanding and helpful. If you want to leave a message on Facebook or LinkedIn, please do. And if you look at this gentleman, what do you think the goal he has to set for himself would be for 2021? Any ideas? You could unmute yourselves. Thank you very much for coming. We are wishing you a really happy Christmas under the circumstances. That is, for all of us, are experiencing the same difficulties of not seeing our families. Thierry,
Yes.
would you like to say anything?
I was going to say, no, thank you very much to everyone for listening. And sorry it was a bit longer. I just saw a message from Damien saying about visualization. Yes, sports people rehearse and complicated gymnastic moves. Dancers, there's a few dancers here. We rehearse visually, we have to. This is, I mean, for me, some of the most challenging moves or figures I've done, I had to visualize because I wasn't able to do it first thing. So we wish you all a very happy Christmas, and hopefully 2021 is going to be a fantastic year for all of you. And if you have any questions, our email address, I forgot to put it, is info@gcmcoaching-coaching.com. Sorry. And I should put it maybe in the chat. That would be, thank you, Aline. info@gcm-coaching.com. Okay, are we still recording, Kula? Oh,
yes, we are. I'm going to stop now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You can unmute yourselves if you want.